Well, good morning and welcome to our guest, mayoralty candidate and longtime resident of Brooks, Norm Gerestein. So welcome and thanks for being here with us to answer a few questions as you campaign for the upcoming election in Brooks. So thanks for being here with us, and I have a list of questions, and we have about 30 minutes, and so we'll try to get to as many as we can. And provide you with an opportunity to sort of talk a little bit about, some things that maybe we might have missed in the course of the interview. So thank you. So we'll get started, and just some general questions to begin. Norm, just tell us a little bit about why you're running for mayor, and what do you believe makes you the most qualified candidate?
Well, first of all, Grant, I want to start off by thanking you for allowing me to be interviewed here today. And I also want to thank Global Village also for allowing me to come here today. Now, you're asking the question of why I want to become the mayor of Brooks. I have been a resident of Brooks now for 38 years. I have been on various committees, organizations, and it's been a passion of mine to be able to give back to the community that has serviced my family over those many years.
Terrific. So as you sort of get into this campaign and as you talk to voters, I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions that come up about issues that face the community. In your mind, what do you think are the three top issues facing the community?
Well, the first issue is the critical infrastructure. I think people realize that critical infrastructure, and what I'm talking about is roads, water, and sewer. And right now, the city, and I thank the city for this right now, they realized 3 years ago that the sewer lagoon needed to be updated because the capacity was running short. That is probably the number one criteria because that goes back into economic development, it goes back into housing, it goes back into all other areas within the city of Brooks and the needs that exist there as well. That is number one. Number two, and I already highlighted a little bit, is economic development. In order to get more economic development and to retain the businesses that we already have, we need the update done to the sewer lagoon. I know that the price tag has now gone up quite substantially from 4 years ago, but that is a critical piece of infrastructure that needs to be dealt with. Also, we need to look at the water lines, we need to look at the road structures, and I took part in the Southeastern area structure plan just 2 nights ago. And I started looking at the structure plan just to see how that is going to fit into the city's overarching plans for the future. And number three, and I would put this into a category of 3 and 4, and I would say number 3 has got to do with safety. And I haven't seen any of the current numbers from the police reports, but Brooks, in my mind, has been a safe community, but I have been hearing from the public that they feel that safety is a major issue. I would like to work with the RCMP to find out what their strategies are in addressing the situation. I'd like to talk with the bylaw officers to find out what they are doing and to come to a consensus as to which direction we should be going there. And the other one is, I guess I would call it unsightly premises. And bylaw can be dealing with that as well, whether it means hiring a new bylaw officer to address that situation, but there's a lot of unsightly premises in Brooks, which leads to a less attractive community, and thereby meaning that the community is less safe.
Well, thank you, Norm. So as we think about the city's future, how do you see yourself working with City Council and the residents to achieve a vision?
Well, first of all, I think what we have to do is collaborate with the citizens and all the different organizations within Brooks and the county of Newell with the mini munis, and by that I'm referring to Rosemary, Dutchess, Patricia, the EID, also working with the college and even Grasslands, of which you've been a part of or were part of for many, many years, to collaborate with them to find out what is exactly needed for that future vision. And then I think council has to have the oversight to determine from all of that which are going to be the top priorities for the community. And then go back to the groups to discuss again where we see all the priorities fitting together.
And that sort of leads into the next question. And I know you've had some experience, you've been on city council before. And when you're talking about future and you're talking about sort of some new initiatives and those kinds of things, it can be sometimes difficult to reach consensus on what are the important priorities to try and tackle. So how, in your experience in council before and in business, would you work to build consensus on a council as mayor?
Okay, you bring back up my business experience. First of all, I have 21 years of private business experience. I have 14 years of experience in multi-corporations. And so when I was managing stores, and I had stores where I had 120 or more employees in it, the first thing that you have to do is you have to hold open discussion. You have to discuss what is going on. And from there, you do the consultation with all the staff members. Then you have the consultation with the council members. And through all of that, you have a collaboration that you come to the best decision, which would be in the best interest of the city of Brooks.
Good. Thank you. So switch gears here and maybe to be a little more specific in some of the things that we want to get to. The mayor, of course, plays a significant role in fostering a healthy local economy and addressing housing needs. We've talked a little bit about that already. So what is your strategy for attracting and retaining businesses and jobs in our city?
The first thing that we would have to do is work very closely with the existing businesses to find out what the barriers are to them in making them want to stay in Brooks, or even do a survey of the ones that are leaving Brooks to find out why they are leaving Brooks. Is it a lack of business? Is it a tax situation? Is it a visibility situation? But the first thing you got to do is retain. The second area is that you've got to look at, you've got to start working with the province in order to start attracting other businesses to come to Brooks. So say, for instance, we have JBS. JBS has a large facility. They go through an awful lot of boxes to pack their meat. Mm-hmm. Is there a possibility of building a box plant in Brooks? They go through a pile of smocks, rubber boots. Is there a possibility of getting some manufacturer here to build a facility for that purpose? And it wouldn't only be for Brooks. It would be for maybe Alberta, southern United States. It could be all over that these plants could ship products to. And the reason I say that is because we are at the intersections of Highway 136, where an overpass is planned. So the transportation network is excellent. Second of all, we've got a rail line going through Brooks. Maybe we need an extra spur line for transportation purposes. And number three, we have the regional airport, albeit it's not a large airport at this point in time, but maybe the airport needs to be looked at for expansion purposes because an awful lot of product is now flown to different destinations than going on trucks.
Right.
And that would help bring, and again, we've got to work with all the different partners in this in order to make it successful. So again, I say the city can't be in its own silo and the county in its own and the EID in its own and the college on its own. We've all got to work together to make Brooks prosper.
Right. So we've all heard about housing crunches all across Canada. It's not unique to Brooks, but tell me how you, as mayor, would work to try and increase affordable housing or make more affordable housing available.
I think the first thing that we would have to do is determine what affordable housing actually is today. Because affordable housing, what the terminology was meant, even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, is different from what it is today. You keep on hearing people say that affordable housing is now $350,000. Well, I don't think there are a lot of the newcomers in Brooks who are going to be able to afford a $350,000 home. So what we have to do is we have to work again with the provincial government and the federal government to get grants to build facilities within the city of Brooks to lower that price tag from $350,000 to maybe $150,000 or $200,000, which would then make it more affordable based upon the pay scale that most individuals make within the city of Brooks.
Okay. And talking a little bit about, hoping that there's this population growth or continues to be population growth in Brooks. How would you, leading councils, try to manage population growth?
Well, again, when you're talking population growth, you have to look at what you are going to be bringing into the city of Brooks in the way of industry, in the way of other business. And the first thing that I would be looking at is, and again, I'll go back to the Southeast structure plan, and I was involved in the Northwest area structure plan. But just for the Southeast, because that was just held 2 days ago, the plan is for 6,000 to 8,000 people to be coming into the Southeast area. And that is going to mean you're going to have to get more housing. You're going to have to get more business down there because the people are not probably going to want to drive too far to do their shopping. And again, we have to manage that structure plan through roadway development, through sewer development, through road development to make sure that everything is contiguous so that everything flows smoothly. Because right now, if I were to look at the Southeast structure plan, and I know it's calling for it, but right now there is only 2 exits in and out of that area. And that would be the number one priority, is to get more areas to leave the southeast area of town. So whether it goes over to highway number 1, whether it goes over to the old highway number 1, but the accesses have to be improved.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to talk a little bit about public safety and some of those issues. Critical functions of local government that directly impact citizens' lives. And you talked a little bit before, you referred to policing and our safe community, and that's a big issue for a lot of people and for a lot of communities. Tell me a little bit about what's your approach to public safety and policing in particular, and how will you ensure transparency and accountability?
Well, let's go with the transparency. And a program that was developed, and I see it on Facebook quite often, is the police updates. I believe that the police updates provides more current information as to what's going on within the city. Another thing is we have the resource officers, and now I believe there's 2 of them in the city of Brooks. And they're going around and meeting with different, well, they just had POP in the school, or POP meet the cop or something along that lines. And I think they've had other initiatives, which they have also done exactly the same things within the community to get themselves out into the community so that the people see them and are aware of the police. And I think that makes the citizens more comfortable with the police. The second thing is we have to again collaborate with them on an ongoing basis to ensure that we're all on the same page as to where we think the concerns are of the citizens of Brooks. So we have to listen to the citizens of Brooks, talk with them on an ongoing basis, and then present action plans as to how we're going to correct whatever the issues are that the citizens are having.
Thank you. Again, switching gears, residents want to know how candidates will protect their city's natural assets and improve overall quality of life. So the question is, how will you balance the need for new development and the desire to preserve the green spaces that we have here in Brooks?
Okay, if we're going into development, we're probably going into other areas of the city in order to develop houses, apartments. And what we have to do is ensure the green spaces are available. I worked on the Brooks Recreation Department as the city's representative for, I believe, at least 8 years to 10 years. And we had a recreation master plan. This was a 10-year plan. And what we had to do is take the plan and see the overarching concerns that were in there. So most plans, and I'm sure you're aware of it being in the education department, that they're critical as a guideline as to where you're going and what you're going to do. And so that is what we have to do. And recreation for life, health, well-being, a healthier individual means that they are having a happier lifestyle. And so we've got to make sure that green spaces are in every plan that is made.
Good. And a mayor should be, of course, accessible and responsive to his or her constituents. So how will you ensure good communication between City Hall and the people that you represent?
Well, already I think that there are some excellent programs that are out there. There's Talk of the Town that's been going on, I think, for the past, I would say at least 8 years, if not longer, which updates the citizens as to what is going on. There's also different functions that the mayor or council attend. But the one thing that I want to do, and I've got the time to do it, I want to be in the city office from, say, 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock every day from Monday through Friday, so that if a citizen has a concern, they can come to me at the city office and have us address the concern. Also, and as you know, I have this tendency to walk the community on an ongoing basis. So
Yes, you do.
I have been stopped many times out on the street for citizens to ask me questions. And that will still be one of my priorities, is just to walk within the community to see what's actually going on. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even mind getting into the bylaw truck and driving around the city with a bylaw officer for a day or two. I wouldn't even mind getting into the dump trucks to drive around with them for a few days. And I still remember the first day I got onto council. The first thing I did was I wanted to know how the water and the sewer system worked. So I spent a day starting out at Lake Newell, coming into the water treatment plant, going out to the lift stations, and going up to the sewer lagoon just to see how everything flows. So I'm not remiss to getting out into the community to address the concerns, whether it's, like I say, sewer, potholes, messes within the community. Brooks isn't that big that I can't drive somewhere in 5 minutes and be there to look at what the situation is that's going on. And then talk to the council about it, talk to our CAO about it, and go from there to make some kind of a decision, so a policy that we can go forward with. Because really, council is meant as the policy creators, and the CAO and staff carry out the policy.
Right. Good. So, Norm, we're trying to sort of keep this short and manageable for the people who are watching. So, thank you for your questions and your insight. But before we go, we tried to sort of cover some general topics, but want to give you an opportunity here at the end. Is there anything in particular that we've missed, or that you'd like to add, or that's really something that is near and dear to your heart about why you're running for mayor, or anything you'd like to change? Any last words about your campaign and what you want to do if you're elected mayor?
Well, I think we've covered off the major topics. I mean, there are other areas of concern, especially with our immigrant population or newcomer population being at probably 35%, I would render a guess. I think what we've got to do is work more closely with these groups in order to address the needs of not only the groups, but of the citizens as a whole, so that everybody can be working together, so there's no conflicts going on within the community because of that development. Again, I think that there's always red tape in the city office. I was talking with a businessman who indicated that he wanted to buy some lots in Brooks, and the lots were $80,000, but the city did not want to negotiate any further on those lots. Well, we've got to get in there and find out, why aren't we negotiating on those lots to bring that price down for the developer? And I know that current Mayor John Petrie came out with this plan for 100% tax reduction in the first year, 75 the second, 50 the third, and 25 the fourth, to a point where there's no, where the person has to pay full taxes. And I think that was an excellent program, but we've got to work a little bit more on hopefully reducing some of these barriers that prevent developers from going forward. And a lot of the development that has been occurring were initiated about 10 years ago. And the talks had been ongoing, and it's great to see that the development has finally materialized within the city of Brooks, to the point where I think there's, I can't remember the exact number, but I think they said 400 or 500 units are being built at this present time. So, I mean, that was great to see. And I applaud the council for finally getting to that point of the discussions, to the point where it actually was built.
Right.
Good. And I look forward to doing more of that going forward.
Good. Well, thank you very much for your time, Norm. I really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best moving forward, and good luck in the upcoming election.
Well, and I thank everyone who is listening, and I hope that they do indeed vote for Norm Gerestein as mayor.
There you go. Thanks, Norm.
Okay, thanks, Grant.